welcome. My name is MagdalineJanet. Welcome. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always here having a good time. And of course, welcome back to my oldies but goodies. So you guys, I'm so excited, but I'm a little nervous because I bought the new e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation and it's not my shade. Okay, I'm gonna explain later, but I put my moisturizer, sunscreen, all that jazz about 15 minutes ago. So anytime you work with powder directly on the skin, you wanna make sure your skin is mainly dry. Right now it's a little tacky because my sunscreen's on and you know how it's a little bit on the thicker side. Use a mattifying primer first. So I'm gonna use this Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer. I recently reviewed this and I really like it. It's like very lightweight and it mattifies the skin. This primer literally works in like 2 seconds. I always like to have primer sit on the skin for about a minute or two. So I'll be back. I'm really nervous. Okay, I put a little bit of eyeshadow on while we wait. Now that the skin is a little bit mattified, you see, I'm going to add some concealer and set it because again, we want to work with a pretty dry surface, so I'll be back. This is how the foundation powder looks. I'm so excited. I hope all the packaging comes like this so you kind of see your shade with the outer packaging. And here is the shade. This is medium 375 neutral. So what happened was e.l.f. released this on Ulta's website, but released only 12 shades. About 3 were made available because I checked online that night and it was weird. 3 were made available. So I figured this is gonna be the closest workable shade. So I'm not too far off. This is probably like 2 shades too deep, but it's okay. Everything's workable. I mean, let's hope. So this is how the compact looks. I like how it has, you see, e.l.f. camo imprinted. So that's kind of cute. It has a mirror and it also has a sponge. It's actually refillable. Today we're just gonna apply the powder directly on the skin. I'm wearing a turtleneck purposely because I have a meeting today and I really cannot be looking like a straight Oompa Loompa, just a little bit, you know? I'm nervous. You know when you laugh, but you're low-key nervous? That's me right now. Let's get this sponge. The sponge feels a little silicone-y. So let's see. Oh. Let's take the earrings off and let's see. The good thing is you can kind of see how it like blends out with this sponge, and look, it's not blending out too well. Okay, it's not too bad. The initial shock is like, what? I just don't like, you see these patches it's creating? It's creating like a bit of a patch, but I think it's this sponge. I'm just gonna tap it in. If we're gonna look patchy, I may have to take it off. Working it in on bare skin, well, skin with primer on. I don't know, do you see those patches? Definitely blending out very nicely. I kind of like how this sponge it blends it quickly. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm like, let me show you a before and after. See, it's buildable for sure. What I'm gonna do is on the right side, we're gonna use this brush from Rose and Ben. I believe it's a blush brush, but because it's a little on the smaller side, it'll be perfect for my face because I do have a smaller face. So as I apply this side on, I'm gonna give you all the info about the product. The new e.l.f. Camo CC Powder Foundation retails for $11. This foundation is a primer-infused pressed powder that delivers buildable coverage and an airbrush finish. It is a long wear buildable formula with medium to full coverage. Natural to semi-matte finish, creates an airbrush, shine-free, and even complexion. Great for all skin types with oil control skin concerns, non-comedogenic. Key ingredients: lock-on primer powder helps your product last all day long. This comes in 30 shades. Very seamless. It just really blends onto the skin nicely. I can show you. You see how it's kind of like on the patchy side right here? But here it's nice and smooth. Do you know what I mean? I just want to show you. Look at the skin. It's really nice. It blends out very nicely. It's a medium to full coverage and I get that. I definitely get the medium and I like this brush and how it applied it. So let me tell you the time. It's currently 7:55. So I'm just gonna finish up my face. I'm going to put a little bit of setting powder around here so we have like a nice radiance because we don't right now. And then I'll be back. everything. I love how powder foundations are so fast. You put it on, you put blush, bronzer. Today I probably don't need bronzer, and you're done. Put my hair down to like soften the look, because look, this is the difference we have going on. Although my hand is really light. Let's just look at the skin. Here we have the brush. It looks nice, but it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. And here is the sponge. I feel like the sponge looks a little bit smoother now. But for the most part, like on the forehead, the skin looks really nice. You don't really see pores. You don't really see texture. But overall, obviously ignoring the shade because it's not my shade, I think it applied very nicely. Because it's not my shade, we can see other things that if we did have our shade, we wouldn't be able to see. Like that, this patch right here, if it was my shade complexion, we wouldn't be able to see it. I do have oily skin, so we'll see how the powder alone just works on the skin. We do have a matte primer, which will help. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts. What I may start doing is let's do a flash test with the phone because sometimes powders are a little bit tricky. All right, let's go here. Oh, it looks good. It looks really good. Look, I mean, I look orange, but you know, for the most part, let's look here. It's actually not that bad. I mean, I was really thinking this was gonna be really bad. You see this picture? Okay, for real, let's go into the window. In front of the window, I got rid of the Christmas tree finally. In the window, we look a little orange, yeah, but here, let's look. This is the brush side, and here's the sponge side. What do you think? What do you think? Do you see a difference on either side? I kind of don't. I just like the brush side better. Felt like it went smoother. Although the sponge really like blended out this orangeness. The skin looks good. And I'll see you later. Bye. Hey fam, I'm back. It is 5:45, so it's been about 10 hours. But of course, before we get started, I do want to show you two check-ins. I did a check-in at 11:30 in my car in natural daylight, and it was looking pretty good, but I did see a little bit of oils coming through. And then the second check-in at around 2:30, I really felt like the skin was very, very oily at this point, but the shade had warmed up a little bit, which is a good thing. And here we are now. I am very, very shiny. Like very shiny. I look like I have a really bad tan because look at the mouth area. It's not even like the same color, but it's okay. I just want to show you guys the skin, how oily it's gotten. Very, very, very oily. So let's tap the face and see how the skin would look. I'm just using the sponge I used earlier today. It's not dry, but it's not completely wet. The skin looks good after a quick little touch up. I don't know what to think about the powder. I'm just really shocked how oily I got pretty early on. And 10 hours later, I look like a grease ball. But this is it for day number 1. Of course, we'll be here tomorrow applying it differently, and I'll see you later. Bye. Hello fam, welcome back to day number 2. So what I just did right now is put this e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation on, put a very, very light layer, and then I went in with this Catrice True Skin Concealer and the shade 32 Neutral Biscuit, just to give us one even tone. Ready for day number 2. Let's see how Oompa Loompa we could get. Just kidding. In the e.l.f. CC Cream Foundation, I am in the shade Light 280 Neutral. However, e.l.f. doesn't have a lot of neutral shade. This shade in the powder is very, very light. At least it appears very light online. I can be 310 Cool, 330W, or 355W. They don't have like an early 300 neutral, so those 3 are the shades that most likely would fit my skin tone. I'm of course gonna do a second impressions with the powders, and I will film more videos with the powders. Today we're just really talking about how the actual powder foundation works on oily skin. I didn't use this one because it has more of a natural finish, and we noticed yesterday we were pretty oily. Okay, nothing is set on the skin. We're gonna use the brush today, and let's get it. Even this out on the hand as always. Actually, let's take these earrings off. Let's start towards the end of the face and kind of like airbrush it up. And also this shade, I use this e.l.f. foundation because it is a little bit lighter, so we need some contrast up in here, okay? Oh look, it's looking good. So the plan worked. And what I'm doing is working the powder in, like literally stippling it in, not rubbing it, because then that's gonna move the liquid foundation. I'm avoiding the under eye area. I don't like to put powder foundation or liquid foundation in that area because my under eyes are very, very, very creasy and dry. So the less product there, the better. I'm just tapping around. And then whatever is left, we're gonna work it here. In the middle, on the nose. Why is it looking so much better today though? Orange, Oompa Loompa, carrot, where? Make sure we get all the little areas, the neck. See, it gives this like radiance to the skin. I noticed that yesterday. Ow. Today we look very, very flawless. Look at these pores, they're not there, but we saw that yesterday. You see, it's like we've been getting this radiance, like definitely not a radiant powder. It's supposed to be a matte powder. Yeah, I like this whole mix up with the foundation and the foundation powder to set it. It is 6:25. I woke up at 5 today because I was so excited to film. What I'm gonna do is set these under eyes. Actually, let me show you. I'm gonna get some Huda Beauty setting powder because it has more of a yellow tone and it'll probably blend in well with like the orange we have going on. So I'm gonna get my powder puff here. Then while looking up, I'm just gonna set it down. And just to create that gradient, so we don't look like we looked yesterday with the sunburn, I'm gonna bring it down. Not to the pore area, more like just down here. Yeah, it looks more cohesive today. Yesterday we looked very orange because of this application. It's gonna give you more of a full coverage and it just kind of plops product on. Although this sponge really blended it out well, that's the difference between a brush where the brush literally gives you an airbrush look, especially a brush like this. That's a little bit dense, not too stiff, but not too flimsy. So let me just finish up the face and then I'll be back. You see this glow that's happening? I saw it yesterday. Do you remember it yesterday? But let's look at the skin. It looks good, very similar to yesterday. And it's funny because we have foundation underneath, a thin layer, right? It looks similar. Ooh, not bad. So I like how the skin looks today better, obviously because it's a little more my shade and this brush really just blended out very, very nicely. I personally prefer brushes when I'm using a powder foundation. I also used a bit of a cool tone bronzer. It has a little bit of red. That helps to counterbalance the orangeness of the foundation. And also a dark lip helps bring everything together, especially because those little things really help to take attention off of the, you know, orangeness. I didn't wear a turtleneck today because I'm like, you know what? We're about to look Oompa Loompa, then we gotta own it, you know? But yeah, this is it. Oh, my lip color is the More Coffee from Maybelline. I will have everything linked down below. I'm not gonna do the sunlight check-in at this moment because it's only 7 o'clock right now and the sun isn't out, so I'll probably wait until 8 o'clock so we have a little more daylight so you guys can see how the skin be looking. Sun is finally out. This is how the skin looks. It looks really good. No pores, no texture really accentuated. You see that glow though that we've had this whole time? Yeah, and it feels lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy or anything, especially because we have a thin layer of foundation underneath. It feels really, really good. Not bad, huh? Yeah, I think I like today better, especially more the tone, you know? Okay, bam, I'm back. It is 6:15 in the evening. We've had the foundation on for 12 hours. Before we get started, I do want to show you 2 check-ins that I did. One at 11:30. You can see the skin a little bit glowy, but everything looked well put together. And then at 2:30, where the skin got even more glowier, and you can see my pores a little more. And here we are now. I am very greasy. Like, this is how the skin looks with the lights turned off. You can see my pores, nothing too horrible. I have oily skin, so I'm not gonna ever be matte at the end of the day. And I do want to show you the transfer I had on my mask. I wore it only for like 30 minutes and I did transfer, and this was at around noon. I don't look gastada, but I am very, very oily. Do I like this powder? Yes, I think it works well, especially because we don't have my shade and we've been able to work with it. It's a very lightweight, semi-matte powder. It's more semi than matte. It gives you this radiance on your skin, so if you like that, this will definitely work. But I don't think it's a very long wearing foundation. For oily skin, you'll be shiny for most of the day, so you'll have to just touch up. If you don't mind doing that, I really, really like this product. I would definitely buy it again, but I just know that I will have to touch up throughout the day, you know? I will keep the description box updated, you know, when it releases and all that jazz. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and spending a little bit of your day with me. Please let me know your thoughts on this. You guys know we're always chit-chatting in the comments, and I love you guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.